Top 5 animals that love being high. Did you know that some animals intentionally seek out mind-altering substances? From fermented fruit to psychedelic plants, nature has its own drug scene, and it's wild. Here are the top 6 animals that seem to enjoy getting high. Wallabies, Australia. In the lush fields of Tasmania, where poppies are legally cultivated for medicinal opiates like morphine and codeine, an unexpected visitor has become a recurring problem: the wallaby. These small, kangaroo-like marsupials have developed a peculiar habit: raiding opium poppy fields in search of a strange, seemingly addictive high. Farmers have reported that wallabies sneak into the fields, nibble on the poppy heads, and then display bizarre, intoxicated behavior. Some wallabies are seen staggering in circles, hopping erratically, or even lying still in dazed stupors, one of the most curious side effects of their poppy binges. Crop circles. Yes, really. After getting high, the wallabies hop in tight loops or spin themselves into patterns, flattening the crops in the process. What looks like a UFO landing zone is sometimes just the aftermath of a drugged-out marsupial joyride. This behavior isn't exactly new. It's been documented for years by Tasmanian farmers and even discussed in local government meetings due to the damage caused to crops. Some researchers believe that the wallabies may actually seek out the opium intentionally, having learned to enjoy its sedative or euphoric effects, similar to how some animals return to fermented fruit or other intoxicating substances. So while their antics may seem amusing, the phenomenon also raises ethical and ecological questions. What happens when wildlife develops a taste for human-grown narcotics? And how does it affect their health and ecosystem behavior? In the meantime, wallabies continue to be unexpected guests in the drug world, leaving behind not just footprints, but some very confused farmers and very round crop patterns. 2. Dolphins, worldwide. Dolphins are often celebrated for their intelligence, social behavior, and playful nature, but some of their playtime might be a little more experimental. One of the most intriguing and controversial observations in marine biology involves young dolphins interacting with pufferfish. In multiple documented cases, dolphins have been filmed gently passing a pufferfish between one another, almost like a game. But this is no ordinary marine toy. The pufferfish contains a powerful neurotoxin called tetrodotoxin, which is lethal in large amounts but can have narcotic or hallucinogenic effects in very small doses. Instead of attacking or eating the fish, the dolphins seem to handle it delicately, mouthing or squeezing the puffer just enough to release a mild amount of toxin. Then they float near the surface, often with their eyes half closed, moving slowly and deliberately, as if in a trance. Observers have described the dolphins as looking calm, euphoric, and high. Some marine researchers believe this behavior is more than coincidence. The repeated gentle handling of a toxic animal and the subsequent altered behavior suggests intention. In fact, the footage has led to theories that dolphins may be using the pufferfish to achieve a deliberate altered state of consciousness, much like how certain primates or birds consume fermented fruit. However, this idea remains controversial. Critics argue that more scientific evidence is needed to conclude that the behavior is truly recreational rather than accidental or simply exploratory. Dolphins are known for playing with a wide variety of sea creatures, including jellyfish and squid, sometimes just out of curiosity or boredom. Still, the footage of this peculiar interaction is hard to ignore. If the theory holds true, it would be one of the clearest examples of deliberate drug use in non-human animals, and yet another reminder that dolphins may be even more complex and relatable than we ever imagined. Number 3. Jaguars, Amazon rainforest. Deep within the mysterious and dense rainforests of the Amazon, jaguars, those solitary and powerful apex predators, engage in a behavior that's both enigmatic and extraordinary. Despite their fearsome reputation, these big cats sometimes indulge in a very curious habit, chewing on the roots and bark of the yagé vine, a plant known to contain hallucinogenic compounds similar to those found in ayahuasca, the potent ceremonial brew used by indigenous tribes and shamans across South America. After consuming parts of the vine, the jaguars begin to display strange, trance-like behavior. They often roll on the forest floor, stretch their limbs slowly, purr rhythmically, and gaze into the distance, appearing detached from their surroundings, almost meditative. These altered states have sparked fascination and debate among biologists, indigenous communities, and psychedelic researchers alike. Locals and shamans have observed this behavior for generations. In some Amazonian spiritual traditions, jaguars are seen as sacred spirit animals, and their apparent consumption of yage is believed to be a form of natural spiritual practice. Some even believe jaguars are the original masters of ayahuasca and that they use it to access deeper wisdom or heightened senses. From a scientific perspective, the behavior is still not fully understood. Some researchers speculate that the alkaloids in the vine might help cleanse parasites or have some medicinal benefit, while others lean toward the more radical idea that the jaguars, much like some primates and humans, are actively seeking altered states of consciousness. What makes this especially compelling is the parallel between jaguars and humans, both turning to the same vine, potentially for similar reasons. Whether it's spiritual, medicinal, or purely experiential, the idea that a wild, predatory cat might intentionally get high in the jungle adds another layer to our understanding of animal intelligence and reminds us how deeply connected all life is to nature's pharmacy. Number 4. Reindeer, Siberia. In the icy wilderness of Siberia, among snow-covered forests and tundra plains, reindeer do more than just graze on moss and lichen. They sometimes go on a natural psychedelic journey. These majestic animals have been observed actively seeking out and consuming the Amanita muscaria mushroom, an iconic red-capped fungus with white spots, famously featured in fairy tales and folklore. But this isn't just a curious dietary detour. Amanita muscaria contains powerful psychoactive compounds, including muscimol and ibotenic acid, which can induce hallucinations, altered perception, and intoxication. After eating the mushrooms, reindeer begin to exhibit strange and unmistakable behavior. They stagger, stumble, and sometimes run in chaotic circles, leaping unpredictably through the snow. Their eyes may glaze over, and their movements become uncoordinated, almost trance-like, signs that they are experiencing something far beyond their usual state of awareness. But the story doesn't stop with the animals. Centuries ago, Siberian shamans began observing this odd behavior and took note. They noticed that the mushrooms which intoxicated the reindeer could have similar effects on humans. In fact, some shamanic traditions involved consuming the same mushrooms during spiritual rituals and vision quests, often to communicate with the spirit world. Incredibly, some shamans reportedly drank reindeer urine, believing the toxins had been filtered and the psychedelic effects intensified yet purified, a practice backed by the fact that muscimol remains active in urine. The cultural links go even deeper. Many researchers believe that these mushroom-induced rituals may have inspired mythological imagery, such as flying reindeer, gift-bearing figures in red and white, and other elements tied to winter celebrations and the Santa Claus legend. It's speculation, but a compelling one. So, whether they're frolicking through the tundra in a daze or inspiring ancient spiritual practices, reindeer and hallucinogenic mushrooms share a strange, symbiotic relationship that continues to intrigue scientists, anthropologists, and folklorists alike. Number 5. Elephants, Africa and Asia. Towering over the savanna and jungle with wisdom in their eyes and trunks swaying like pendulums, elephants are some of the most intelligent and emotionally complex animals on Earth. But even these gentle giants aren't immune to the curious temptations of nature's more intoxicating offerings. In parts of Africa, especially in countries like Botswana and South Africa, elephants have developed a strong taste for marula fruit, a yellow plum-sized fruit that falls from trees in large quantities during the harvest season. When left on the ground under the hot sun, marula naturally ferments, producing alcohol through the process of microbial fermentation. The result? A sweet, mildly alcoholic fruit that can become nature's version of jungle booze. After consuming large amounts of marula, elephants have been observed engaging in unusually playful and erratic behavior. They sway as they walk, lean on trees, trumpet more frequently, and sometimes even stumble or roll around, as though they've had a bit too much at a wild savanna party. Local villagers and farmers have shared stories of elephants raiding marula orchards or shaking trees to bring the fruit down, returning year after year as if they remember the good stuff. Some herds are known to follow the fruiting season across long distances, a pattern that suggests the behavior may be more intentional than accidental. The phenomenon gained global attention from a 1974 documentary called Animals Are Beautiful People, which famously showed elephants, warthogs, and other animals allegedly intoxicated from fermented fruit. While the accuracy of some of those scenes has been debated, scientists argue that elephants would need to consume an enormous volume of fermented marula to get truly drunk. First-hand observations and more recent footage continue to support the idea that intoxication may occur under the right circumstances. And if you consider the elephant's large size and powerful sense of smell, it makes sense. They'd know exactly when the fruit is ripe, overripe, and just starting to ferment. Whether it's myth, exaggeration, or scientifically plausible behavior, the image of elephants partying in the wild is one of the most enduring and entertaining animal tales. And like many creatures on this list, it suggests that intoxication might be an ancient, shared instinct, not just a human invention.